Alright, good morning, guys. Running this a bit late, but it's all good. Not too worried about it. Right. So we missed our model. It occurred at 9:46, but it's all good. Although we would have already caught the winner for the day and been out. So I'm looking for it to come up into this 1 hour volume imbalance. February gap, I'm sorry. So right up in here we have that 1 hour February gap. Driving right up into there then. Guys, just had to put a few things away there, but yeah. So I do think that let's see a nice short setup here. I'll go ahead and get all set up here. Yeah, we can see a nice short setup here. What I'd be looking for is just a push up into this midpoint here. Really, what I want to see is this model right here kind of print up here, and inversely just come and do the opposite. So keep in mind, I'm looking at this to be the high of the week. So I'm going to respect that as the high of the week until I get a reason not to. But we're in a premium market. We're driving up into that 1 hour fair value gap here. So that's 79% and that's 62% retracement. Okay. So the midpoint would give us, honestly, way too big of a stop loss. But well, with micros though, it'll be alright. 7, 4. Yeah, that wouldn't even be that bad of a stop loss, honestly. And of course, we can mitigate risk once given the opportunity to do so. So yeah, I want to see that push higher here, up into that midpoint. Holy shit. 500 units. I'm gonna hit 2 units there. What the hell am I thinking? I'm gonna go ahead and go short there then, guys. Got this 15-minute fair value gap high that we can look to respect here. Which is right here. Which is also just above that 1 hour fair value gap high. Just gonna target this low right here. Just a low hanging fruit approach. So from 320, so we're looking at about 100 points. Just below this low right here. So as you can see, we were a bit late to the stream. I could have already caught this long, which I would have taken that. I know I would have. I want to see this gap stay open here and inverse that. As we're in a premium market, we're gonna get stopped out here. Yeah, we're stopped out here. Okay, so we took a $90 loss. Small paper cut. Small paper cut. I'm gonna turn off executions just to the end here. So respecting that whole 1 hour for right gap. Looks like respecting the 15-minute didn't work out for me there, but if we can come inverse this, then I'm gonna go short again. So again, I want to see that kind of drop kind of aggressively lower here for me to be able to take an entry point. Also, if that 3-minute could stay open. I'm gonna go ahead and go short here. Stop above the inverse. Again, I want to see this candle kind of close below that low there. There's no guarantees, but this is what I'm looking for, and I have no plan B. So if we can get a fair value gap below, I can lower my stop above that candle. I've already taken that low, as you can see. Just barely, but we've already taken it. So as you see, it took our stop, but nonetheless, it formed the model I said I wanted to see up here and got back in. Looking to come take out some lows here. These two lows right here. Coming into this, back into this breaker and possibly even lower than. Like the 5-minute looks bullish, but given the 1 hour imbalance here, it's also the optimal trade entry and other factors as well here. I'm just looking at everyone wants to go long right now, and we're in a premium market. We're in a 1 hour fair value gap. So I'm just kind of adding up all these factors here, putting together a bias for a move lower here. Nothing crazy, just right here. I'm looking for something to give that will let me put my stop loss a bit lower here. Get rid of some of that risk that's open. But I'm also not going to force it, so. Looking for this whole candle to be respected. I want to see a fair value gap below. So nice move lower. Alright guys, that inverse model right there did not hold for us. So we stopped out. Down like 260 so far. I really hope that didn't just take our stop loss to go with it. But I'm going to go ahead and wait for something more here. We're going to stay patient here and wait for something more. Alright, so we're just waiting for something more here. I wanted to see if fair value got below the inverse right here. But clearly that didn't happen. We got stopped out. Again, we're in that 1 hour volume imbalance. I'll show you right here. Still confident we're going to fall lower. But I'm going to give it a little bit more time here to set up here for us. Right there's that silver bullet though. That shows beautiful. Beautiful silver bullet setup. So we have just created that higher high here. And then we're creating that higher high. So potentially we could inverse this right here. Let me hurry up and see what ES is doing. ES is higher as well. Could also inverse that. So right here is that 79%. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and go short there. My stop above the 1 hour fair value gap. So we went right into that 79% retracement. We're respecting that whole 1 hour fair value gap. So we're gonna look for this 3 minute to stay open, as well as this 1 minute right here. So if that could inverse into our favor, that would be nice. Just looking out to take out that low there. Again, I don't really want to long in a premium market. I'm looking to go short. This is that 79% retracement level on the larger scale. So I'm not looking to go long here. I mean, it very well could just run into here and stop us out, but I'm looking for it. I'm anticipating a inverse move below this low. We're in a deep premium here. We're at that 79% retracement. Deep premium right now. I want to see a fair value gap below that low. Because if we can get that fair value gap below the low, I can lower risk then. So again, we're trading 3 micros right now. So everything looks very bullish, but keep in mind we're in a deep premium market. I'll show you again here, just that you can get that perspective. So, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. Okay. So as you can see, from that high to that low, we're at the 79% retracement. market have now ran below that low, just what we wanted to see. So we can understand that this fair value gap is invalidated now, and you can see it run lower. Again, everyone's going long right now, so I'm kind of looking to fade that. My long was down here. That was my entry if I was to go long. As you can see, we would have been paid really nicely. Moved 260 points. But the market repeats, so I'm confident that we can get a move lower here. There's no guarantees though, keeping that in mind. So I'm going to see a drive lower off this inverse. So we got our coffee here now. So again, I don't think it would make sense, in my understanding, for it to invalidate the fair value gap and then reuse it to go higher. But maybe there's something that I'm missing here. Again, I'll check the other time frame really quickly. We do have that 3-minute movement right here. That 5-minute gap here still open. And again, we can respect this whole candle, potentially. Doesn't have to. But yeah, I just can't see myself going long all the way up in a deep premium, so as long as we respect this high, that's all that matters right now. Like, you can act aggressive as it wants, but as long as that high stays intact on futures anyway, we can look for a price to drive lower here. If not, we'll get stopped out and we'll reevaluate from there. So we've got that 1, 2, 3 drives up into that 79%. I've already invalidated that inverse here, so basically, from my understanding right now, I don't see, well, as I'm speaking, I don't see why prices running so aggressively, but Like, if it takes that 1 hour for right gap high and runs lower, that'd be pretty irritating. I'm not gonna lie. So taking multiple losses here today. No big deal. We're gonna stay at it here. I'm gonna wait until that 350 macro most likely, unless I get something sooner. So we did run buy side liquidity though, right there, right into that order block. So we can get rid of all this. So again, we ran into that 1 hour order block here. Didn't respect this fair value gap, but we did run right into that order block. So I'm trying to clean it up here. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and go long all the way up here. Again, my long position would have been right here. So I'm kind of looking for the same type of setup just up here. So we came up and took out buy side. Now I'm noting that there's this 15-minute fair value gap. So what I could see here is it driving up into here. I mean, without coming to take out these highs, that's really the furthest I would like to see it go. We could get like that one push higher up into that midpoint. So again, we're up here in a premium market, deep premium, taking out that buy side. Originally, we wanted to respect that 1 hour fair value gap, but there's no guarantees, and it did not happen for us. Oh, I did not mean to go short there. But, it might have worked out in our favor. That was completely an accident. I did not mean to go short there. But given that we did, I'm gonna respect this right here. Keep it very minimum risk. Yeah, that was totally an accident right there, but we did just tap that 15-minute fair value gap, running that buy side. We got that fair value gap right here. So this could actually work out in our favor here, potentially. There's no guarantees again. We have these equal highs right here. It could run up higher one more time. Put on 4 micros. I do want to see. Okay. So we got that 1, 2, 3 runs higher into buy side and that 15-minute fair value gap. Just barely hit it, just barely touched it, but it did. So I'm gonna respect this price right here until I get a reason not to. Got some really nice risk to reward ratio right here, so I'm looking for it to just. So I got all these lows right here that are just stacking, stacking, stacking. Equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows. Right here, right here, right here. There's just so much liquidity. But yeah, truthfully, I meant for it to run up once more and I'll go short. But some button I clicked on my keyboard made me go short whenever I had this screen up. I think I hit the enter button. But I'm gonna respect it as is and look for this to hold right here. Looking for it to drop below this low right here. So if all goes in our favor, we could see a really nice run down into our take profit. It could very well just continue higher and stop us out, but I do like the way we ran into buy side and created that fair value gap, as well as that optimal trade entry here. So again, we have the optimal trade entry, fair value gap, just above buy side. But there's no guarantees, so could potentially inverse this right here. Damn. So we did get that 1 run higher. Okay. So account balance down 600. Again, we've taken multiple losses here. Really due to being late, because I know I would have caught this if I was on stream on time. I know for sure I would have caught it. So again, we're looking for price to kind of gravitate off of this and come lower. We'll find another entry opportunity here. Got that 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go short there. I'm gonna put our stop. How the fuck's my stop the way up there? So I'm gonna put our stop right here. Above that 15-minute fair value gap high. I do want to check the 5-minute here. So we've also got that 5-minute fair value gap high. Again, it's a very volatile market. That's why I'm trading micros. Cause look how high, like, right there, it's a 60-point stop. That's why we're trading micros, because obviously with a full contract, 60 points would have been $1,200. I'm definitely not trading with a $1,200 stop loss here. I think we have our model here, guys. That third run higher that I wanted to see. Again, we were in here by accident, but I wasn't gonna impulsively get out. I would want to see this inverse to be in my favor here. So this could be our nice runner to mitigate all of our losses and be in profit for the day then. Again, sometimes showing up on time is a big factor. I mean, I missed a really nice move right here. And then ultimately trying to force not force too much, but trying to find that nice short setup since we didn't catch the long. I mean, that was such a nice long setup here. Again, keep in mind, it's working out temporarily, but everybody's long. Everyone wants longs, and everyone wants that breakout above the highs. So I'm kind of looking to fade that, like I've said a few times here, and see price come lower. Again, there's no guarantees though. See what happens. Alright, so getting that nice push lower here to inverse that fair value gap right there. So currently we've engineered these lows right here. Let's see if ES did something different. Okay, so ES made a higher high. NASDAQ made a higher high. Made a lower high. NASDAQ made a lower high. Okay, so the Dow is remaining lower. The Dow has remained lower while the ES and NASDAQ have went higher. So this is potentially our SMC here. So again, we've taken multiple losses, but ultimately I do think this is our SMC right here. ES and NASDAQ coming higher with the Dow remaining lower. Let's just check and see if that has stayed intact. Okay, so ES, same with NASDAQ here. Looks like the Dow's poking up above these highs quickly, but nonetheless, that was our SMC there. Nice order block, optimal trade entry here. So it looks like, okay, what it looks like here is this was actually our SMT. So we've got our SMT right here, potentially. And I say that because we've got the same thing here on ES. But then the Dow came higher. Again, this is all potential. Nothing is guaranteed. Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, guaranteed. I knew I would have taken this, and I guarantee knew I would have gotten out that high. You know, but just showed up a bit too late there to be a part of that. Again, it's all good. Taking a little bit of losses along the way, kind of blind to the fact that we're coming up into here. Again, you don't have to be perfect to make money. That's the biggest thing. To come out on top, it's about a series of events. One trade does not matter. It's about a series of trades. So I don't want to see that stay open here, even if it's just that small. Doesn't have to, but so we just came and took that low inside of what looks like it could be a bullish fair value gap, but honestly, I'm just not seeing. I mean, we're in such a deep premium. Unless yesterday's high wasn't the high of the week, then I don't know what I'm talking about. Pretty much, I mean, I'm pretty confident yesterday's high was high of the week. I think we'll come and inverse this here with that next candle. We got these equal lows pending right here. Again, I don't want to really see it go too much higher here. Because yesterday's high was that short that we took, and I'm pretty confident that's the high of the week. I want to see this volume imbalance be respected here and drive lower. So from right here, I don't really want to see it go higher. Again, there's no guarantees. I can't control the market, but looking for that body to print and respect. So at 6 seconds, I want that body to stay below. Kind of did. I mean, it's like on top of it. You can see that push lower here, potentially. let's see what's going on here. ES for some reason is running higher. Dow is for some reason running higher. Okay, so we have a higher Dow with lower NAS and ES. I'm gonna erase that just so it's a little bit more clean. Obviously, we know that I'm looking at that as SMT. Got that 1, 2, 3 pushes higher up into that 15-minute fair value gap. So that's exactly what I want to see here. Is just a nice run lower. Kind of changing the narrative here. We got so many people going long up here, like especially off that move right here. Now we're testing this fair value gap for a third time, so I think we could inverse it here. Just kind of fall lower. Again, on a normal day, I'll show up early or on time, and we would have caught this long here. I probably would have already ended the stream, but here we are looking for a potential run lower here. Keep in mind, we're in that macro for another minute. Got that volume imbalance here. Drive us lower. There's no guarantees. Staying patient here. Lowered my stop by 40 points because I don't feel comfortable holding it the whole way up there. Got it just above that high here. Got the Dow with that high right here. Looking good, looking good. So I'm gonna see that gap stay open here. If we can get a nice push lower with that gap open, I'll put my stop right here. There's sell side being taken. So if you were in this trade, you can go ahead and take profit. As you can see, that's already almost, that's 90, 80, 90 points. I'm going for just a bit more, just to, again, this is a very deep premium. We're absolutely going to destroy this take profit here. I'm just looking to mitigate our losses and some, just to kind of pay ourselves for being patient and humble and sticking to the plan this week. I'm going to try and get what I can out of this move. Ultimately, I do think we're going to take out that low here. I'm only going for half of that. Got that 3-minute right here setting up. Could come up into this one right here. Only reason I'm testing this one out is because, I mean, yeah, this one ran through a low. Ultimately, this is like that, bam, like the elephant jumping in the kiddie pool. So again, I'm gonna say it one more time. I missed that model right here. This is my model right here. But just like I said, I wanted to see it inversely. As you can see right here, got that fair value gap higher. Right here with that fair value gap lower. And then reusing that to go in the opposite direction there. So we can see this candle wick and drive lower aggressively, or we can see it gravitate here to continue lower. waiting patiently here. Stepped away for just a second there. I was looking at my mobile though. If I ever step away, I'm definitely looking at my mobile chart. But as you can see, we're still just fucking around right here. We have 50 points to our take profit. Coming up a little bit higher here. Right there to right there. So if we did come higher, that fair value gap with the optimal trade entry, Ultimately, we'd look for it to run lower there. So I don't like how we created that fair value gap. But if it only means to come up into here, then it is what it is. We've just taken that buy side right here, equal highs. So could even see it respect this whole candle still and run lower. Given that we had these equal highs, dipped above, could inverse this right here. So again, we could inverse that. Still have potential, it's no guarantee here. As you can see, we did invalidate this. And get rid of that as well. I'm gonna get rid of some of this mess here. So, as we see here, we got that 3-minute fair value gap, as well as this 1-minute fair value gap. So a 5-minute. Ultimately, I can get rid of that 3-minute one because this 5-minute fair value gap is even better. I'm gonna go ahead and put my stop right here above that 5-minute fair value gap there, just in case we're misaligned here and we do get stopped out. But ultimately, right here, it looks like we have that potentially the order block and then the 5-minute fair value gap if that stays intact here. So again, I don't want to see us get stopped out, because if we do, then that means something wasn't right. We could see just as aggressive as that was, we could see a nice aggressive run lower. So we'll just have to be patient here. Five-minute order blocks invalid. I'm gonna keep it above that inverse. Because again, if mainly what I'm seeing here is if we come above this high, we come in. If we come attack these highs, then that means it was not the high of the week. But if we can hold strong here and run lower, then that's our confirmation that that was the high of the week. Again, we're holding strong, holding confident, and we have 30 minutes left in this 1 hour candle. That next one could really just run us lower. I do want to check something here. So we're in the optimal trade entry right now, which is right here. So we came up, took buy side just like yesterday, and then got that possibility of just coming very aggressively lower. Got sell side, got sell side here. Again, I wouldn't even want to see it come above the 79%. Just staying patient here, guys. Do appreciate anybody that really does stick through and wants to learn, because I mean, there's really no like guesswork in this. This is pure skill, but at the end of the day, you just can't make it do what you want. Like I can't like grab it and force it to my take profit. And I can kind of only manage it and put my stop loss accordingly. I could have probably taken out the whole position right here, but then again, I like to stay patient for my take profit. We're just in such a deep market, like that higher time frame, 79%. Got that market structure shift coming back up. optimal trade entry. We have 19 minutes to the next macro, which will lead us into the AM session lows during that lunch trading there. Again, such an aggressive push higher here. Right into that 79%. I'm going to put my stop above this order block. So we ran right into that 79% here. If that gap could stay open, we could inverse that. So again, I don't think we're going to get stopped out here, but it is a possibility. Just keep that in mind. But again, I don't think we will. So ES has a lower high. Dow has a lower high with a fair value gap. NAS made a higher high with a fair value gap, a bullish fair value gap, but nonetheless we could use that as an inverse. So I need to see this low get swept, as well as this low right here, of course, but and ultimately this one and this one are take profit. So again, I want to see that low get swept here. I don't want to see this get respected. Same with ES, I want to see that get inverse. And the Dow has a nice 2022 entry model, potentially anyway. Okay. So we got the Dow running lower, 2022 entry model. Got the ES, we inversed that. NASDAQ, we're looking to inverse that. So this is another lesson if anybody's watching this or watches the recap, but see how being late to the stream, I could have had a nice easy run, take profit, got off. But now I'm waiting, I'm getting stuck in this chop when the silver bullet was right here. My model that I absolutely love. Got that inverse with the fair value gap, the turtle soup below the lows. I mean, that's perfect. That's my model right there. But don't get me wrong, I have multiple ways to trade. ICT concepts, I know what I'm doing. And ultimately, we just have to let time and a series of events do all the lifting for us. So I want to see that run lower, below this low right here. So that's not a good look. I don't like the looks of that, but nonetheless, we're going to stay patient and look for that run lower. I do like how it inversed and created the fair value gap on ES. As far as the Dow, I do love how we hit that midpoint Body respected it. 37 points right there. So the Dow's looking good. ES looking good. NASDAQ looking to run that low. Equal lows at that. And there you have it. There you have it. Right. I think that time's coming, guys. Just like yesterday, we had that run higher. Took out buy side. Made us wait longer, but that same question arises then. You're gonna go to work for 8 to 12 hours, sometimes 16, right? But you're not willing to endure all of this. It doesn't really make sense. But I can see if you're not willing to endure it in the fact of like, oh, what if it's not worth it? Or just something like that, but so we ran a higher high, taking out buy side with these equal highs. ES with the inversion and fair value gap, balanced price range above buy side. So it looks like ES and Dow both ultimately ran the high, while the NASDAQ stayed lower. So I think that's our confirmation right there that we're gonna head lower here. So again, we're aiming for them AM session lows. So all these lows from the AM session are what's going to be targeted here. Heading into that noon to 2 o'clock window there. And ultimately that 2 to 4 window as well. Optimal trade entry. Yeah, trading is boring sometimes, guys. Over yawning and getting tired, but got my coffee right next to me. You know. Patience pays. I want this to stay open here. Even if it's that small, I would need that to stay open here. I need something to show me something lower, something strong, some type of sign that we're gonna keep going lower here. Got 19 seconds. There you have that. Got that breaker right here. That candle right here. Run us lower than. I don't like the way it's running up, but then again, this is our breaker right here. So we know this is our optimal trading tree. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Focus on this candle right here. This is our breaker. Potentially our breaker. I want to see confirmation of it as run lower. But we had that 1, 2, 3, which will leave this candle as the breaker. Especially because we had these equal highs, and then that third pivot drove us lower above an old high. This high stayed intact, but this one and this one got taken out. Being patient here, understanding that I think once it does, if it does hit our take profit, I think it'll go pretty aggressively down lower. I just can't see it going higher because, like I said, the Wednesday high of the week, and then just this whole phenomenon right here is similar to this, just inversely. We're at that midpoint of that breaker. So I really need this breaker to hold, or else I'll kind of lose confidence in this. This is kind of my bread and butter right here. That 1, 2, 3 with the inverse, the breaker, sell side pending. I'm confident in that approach. I'm not confident in anything higher. Especially we're at the very, very, very deep premium. We maxed out at that 79% retracement. I want to see that wick lower, as you see right there. Must be magic. It's almost like as soon as I said it, the market just did what I wanted, right? Or maybe I saw it before. I'm not sure. But I want to take out that low here and disrespect both of these fair value gaps. I don't want either of those to stay respected here. I used it right here to come a little bit higher, but I mean this candle to wick as well. What I really want to see is a fair value gap below these equal lows. I need price to stop fucking around. Give me something here to be more confident in these lower prices. But again, took buy side, took sell side, came back and took buy side internally. So now I think externally we could just come and wipe these lows here. These lows are just so obvious. I highly doubt they're in a hold. And that's just so obvious. And the main reason I said I wanted this candle to wick and run lower was because we had this high and this high. We ran higher once more. So 1, 2, 3, we had that swing high. So I assumed that this candle would come up, wick lower. That's the reasoning behind why I knew, not knew for a fact, but I had a feeling that it would wick. So again, we could see some aggressive movement lower. Once we get to our take profit, it could just really dump hard below equilibrium. Up here it's a little bit more tough, but we could see low resistance liquidity just running really nice lower. I think right here is where we're going to see everybody blow their accounts that went long, especially chasing this long right here and that move right there. I think we're going to see them blow their accounts here. I hate to say it like that because I've blown hundreds of accounts, but it's kind of funny to say it like that, I guess. So. I want that to stay open just how it is. Oh, no. See? Dipped into that low. Oh, not even. So, did disrespect this right here. No idea why I disrespected it and continued higher, but we're going to look deeper into that. It respected this whole candle in the 3 minute. Again, I just don't really respect longs the entire way up here. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. I just can't take it serious. I can't respect it. I want this to inverse right here and run lower. Got that 5 minute swing high forming, which could be. I don't see why else it would be running up, honestly. I'm just being honest. We ran these equal lows. Now we're coming up higher. So we've engineered these equal lows on Dow. See Dow fall lower here. Got that volume imbalance in there. On ES, we have that just got disrespected. See if the body will hold though. Body could hold. On NASDAQ, we have that midpoint of the breaker once again. Running those equal highs. So again, I think eventually here we could see a nice dump. It's either that or we get stopped out. So just gonna zoom in really nice here. You can see that clearly. So kind of similar to yesterday, I'm just looking for a nice hard run lower. So 1154, we're in that macro. Again, I just don't respect longs here. I don't think that it's reasonable. Just ran that buy side here and here. Got that optimal trade entry. So I need this to hold here. Definitely need that to hold. As ES continues higher, just a bit though. And we got that volume imbalance right here. That could drive us lower. On the Dow, we got these two fair value gaps. I mean, I can't lie, like it wouldn't be irritating if it disrespected this and took us out. Because I just don't really understand. I mean, you could respect that entire 15-minute fair value gap right here, but worst case scenario, I could see it running these equal highs into the afternoon and then running lower. But ultimately, we already had that push lower, that shift, and the optimal trade entry, so I'm just looking for a continuation lower here. But yeah, so I need this 79% to hold as it has right here, and the continuation lower. And I definitely wouldn't want to see it above this order block, which is why I have my stop loss there. Yeah, I don't want to see this create a wick and kind of run lower. Definitely wouldn't want it to touch that high. I would want to see a wick and just push lower. Alright, well, that failed. Back into that inverse. Now we're up into that order block and that inverse, running above this high right here. Went ahead and scaled in another short entry there, since we dove back up into that premium above this high, anticipating it respecting this candle here, which then would allow me to aim for lesser of a target as well. That is not a good look right there, but could turn around here. Again, we're in that order block. Again, I trust my stop loss, so we'll have to see what happens here. I'm gonna make sure it's to the tick, because futures will respect to the tick, which is what I like over Forex. Ultimately, we've came higher, sweeping this buy side. Swept this buy side on ES. Dow, pushing lower. Lots of imbalances here. Volume imbalances, to be specific. So yeah, what mattered right there was that print. I do like the way that it wicked and stayed lower. See how that breaker only yielded us down to that? Not even to that actually, but that breaker only took us so far, respecting this 3-minute free value gap. So I guess that could have been a nice little long above the high there. Just waiting patiently here. Again, I wouldn't want to see it touch my stop loss. For what I'm looking for, I need a continuation lower right here. I don't want to see it push higher. That's very annoying here. We got stopped out. Very, very annoying. It's 12:04. We've given up all of our profits at the moment. Very frustrating at the moment. Looks like we will try to run above that then. Again, it's noon, so the algo will look to seek AM session liquidity. Let's see if we can get a higher entry here. Because keep in mind, it can come up into here. So just swept that high. Yeah, I'm not confident in longs, so I don't really care what anybody else is doing. So the dollar could be turning around here. So it looks like we're also drawn deeper up into this new week opening gap, new day opening gap, whichever one it is. Okay, so I see something I really like. I do see something I like a lot. Now that it did happen. Looking for this inverse setup right here. I don't like the way we ran above it. Yeah, cause I'm looking at this as right there's our midpoint. The midpoint of that daily order block there. got those equal highs, so I don't want to see it run up into that midpoint there. Going short there, right at that midpoint of that daily order block. Targeting this engineered low. So this entry up here would give us a better risk to reward than we had before. 5-minute inversion. Again, because I look at this as the high of the week. So we're really in a deep premium now. I mean, we're above that 79%. We swept a ton of buy side liquidity here. Again, this is the midpoint of that, that 4-hour order block, not the daily, that 4-hour order block. Still important though, don't discredit it just because it's not the daily. Still very important. But we could have that 4-hour candle print at 1 o'clock. So I do want to see price kind of rather run through here aggressively. So I'm looking for us to inverse this 3-minute fair value gap. It'd be nice if we can hold this 1-minute fair value gap open. So again, I want to see that fair value gap stay open here, helping us to inverse that 3-minute fair value gap. So this is our bearish 1-minute, this is our bullish 3-minute fair value gap. But ultimately I want to see that bullish 3-minute fair value gap inverse and kind of drive us lower here while we're gravitating above buy side, as well as running into that 4-hour order block midpoint. Looking the same here on ES. ES and Dow both diving lower here. So again, it's past noon now. That algo reset. At noon, made that run higher. And now I'm thinking that we're going to seek all the AM session sell side. So first we would run this low, then this low, then this low, leaving that huge gap right here that we created. So we could rebalance this and then continue higher, or we could just never come back from up here, and this would be our high of the week. So what I could see happening, it was tomorrow. Like we could like run lower here and then lead into tomorrow, sweep this low and take out these highs. Because Friday can kind of sweep the weekly range, but ultimately until then I don't want to see those highs taken out. Because I'm viewing them as the high of the week. So right here we got that nice 2022 entry model. That's what it looks like here anyway. So keep in mind we had that 3-minute inverse, but I'm going to use this 1-minute inverse. Looks like we're dipping back into that 1-minute fair value gap, as well as respecting both these at the same time. So again, this move right here would put us in the profit for the day. So we've taken multiple losing trades today. But I'm going to once again show you guys why it doesn't matter. As a beginner, I wouldn't take this many entries. Even I sometimes shouldn't be, but I do have a clear bias that I'm looking for. I'm gonna include that volume imbalance. I think if we get stopped out, we're gonna step out for the day. But pretty confident in my approach here. I just need price to give me something lower so that I can protect myself. It's playing hard to get today. I want to see that inverse here. Kind of need that to inverse below that low here. Preferably with this candle right here, just wick below. Or else we'll probably get stopped out. So we're constantly just tapping into that midpoint here of this fair value gap. But keep in mind I also have the optimal trade entry high. This volume imbalance right here. There's a lot going on. So I'm gonna mark that. But yes, the setup of the day was definitely that 9:47 long. At 9:47 a.m. That's my human error right there. I was late. I took on too many tasks before stream and kind of extended over my time. But then again, now I don't have to do the tasks afterward once we end the stream, so I guess that's always good. But yeah, here I want to see that low taken out, or else I'm gonna start to lose some confidence. Nas is playing hard to get today, but feels if this movement right here is gonna play out in our favor. Let's see what happens here in these next minute, 2, 3. The high is still intact. There's that 79% from that high to that low. So it could turn on the dime here. It would have to turn on the dime here and just keep going, or else we'll get stopped out. Because there's the high, the fair value gap, 79% OTE, order block, right onto that 4-hour order block midpoint. It's noon. It's already about to be 12:30. There's a lot of liquidity pending from the AM session. So I bet that there's a lot of people that went long here and got stopped out, went long up here, got stopped out, took off without them. Now they're going to go long up here and probably get destroyed even harder than they were right here, because this could fall pretty hard here. This could fall pretty hard here. But no, yeah, like I've seen that happen before. That's why I kind of figured they would have to turn on the dime. That's why I like futures as well. With futures, it'll respect that. Even if it came to the same level, say it came to 461.75, until it gets to 462, it wouldn't stop you out. It's not like Forex where there's spreads and all that. So futures is kind of superior in my opinion. You can still trade gold, you can trade NAS, ES, Dow, really anything. You just gotta pay for the data packages and everything. Yeah, I want this to stay open here. I feel like we should be wrapping up shortly. Should just kind of, if it's going to, it should just kind of run in our favor here. I want to see that push lower. Preferably mitigate this and then push lower, so that I can put my stop loss above that high right there. So again, we just ran up into that midpoint. I'm gonna zoom in kind of hard here. So we're in that midpoint right here. This 1 minute order, 1 minute fair value gap. Dates inverse. So we've formed optimal trade entry, ran these equal highs, now forming this 1 minute fair value gap, ran into the midpoint, stayed there, and looking to run lower, take out this low here. And then I would use this high as my stop loss, because I know I could trust it that it mitigated 50%, ran lower, confirming that I could trust that high. And I wouldn't want it to come above that high, so that's why I would put my stop loss there. So I could just keep it above here. That's just more risk. It's 9 points, but 9 times 12, so there you have it. Just a nice run lower. So like I told you, could have a nice run lower. But what really matters here is it kind of sweeping this low, forming the fair value gap. Can't get ahead of ourselves here. So on the 3 minute, 5 minute, the inverse of that 5 minute fair value gap. Love to see it. Now we're just running lower nicely, just right through that 5 minute fair value gap. This is why losses don't matter when you just control your risk. To be fair, yeah, I did give up a good bit of my profits, but I knew that the probabilities would play out in my favor, and I knew the opportunity would arise around that 12 o'clock, 12:10, 12:20. Like as soon as I saw engineered highs and then that run through, I was like, okay, that has to be the move that will take us lower, because if not, then that high from yesterday wasn't even the high of the week. Let's look at that again. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That high right here, the one that we traded it live yesterday. But yeah, in that daily volume imbalance, we're forming a swing high. So that's why I want to see where I'm short right now, remain the high, and then continue lower, and then for tomorrow, kind of open up, maybe go higher a little bit, and ultimately sweep today's low. And then obviously this one's next. But yeah, this low right here is definitely short term. It's definitely not there to stay. We're not gonna turn around and fucking go to all time highs. The election's very soon. It's crunch time right here. So there we have it, guys. Just that nice movement lower. Institutional order flow, entry drill. Just tapping right into it and dipping lower. Could Wiccan just run lower here? It's already tapped into it with that volume imbalance, so could just run lower and start to take profit there. So this 5 minute play right here is clean. Got the 5 minute inverse with the 5 minute fair value gap forming, and then Right here we have 2 levels of sell side. Also giving these equal lows. These lows right here. Unmitigated. Balance right here that we could. I would say that it might reverse right here. So it could reverse either here or here. Give like a short term move back higher. Probably during Asian session, to be honest. Okay, so this one would be the 62, 79. Yeah, I'm thinking that it could just dip into the OTE with this imbalance here, respecting that low right here, and then give it a short term for sweeping this low, this low, this low, and right here as well. So we're looking good right now, guys. Patience pays, perseverance pays. We didn't let the losses define us. We literally just brushed them the fuck off. You know? So just like I said, we already tapped into that, so we could have just ran lower. Optimal trade entry. That next candle could just rip through, or it could come back up and right. So we could either rip the lows, or we could come back up into here and then rip the lows. But I don't see it coming up to my stop loss. I feel like I should, to be safe, just keep it above. You just never know if it could engineer this equal low. Especially given that 3 minute. Just to be safe. I think that's a smart play to do. we're still in profit, and ultimately, I don't want to get stopped out and miss out on all that profit whenever it was so close to where it's programmed to go. And there's no guesswork in this. Like it's all programmed, predetermined, like over and over and over. Like I told you, at noon it'll reset, creating an entry to take out AM session liquidity. And we're now heading for all these lows down into our optimal trade entry fair value gap. That breaker play was nice, and ultimately we would have caught that on stream. That is something I would have traded 100,000%. Okay, our take profit is incoming. As you can see here, I don't want to go too much over the apexes, so probably gonna close out here in a sec. I seem to keep like a consistent like 350 a day overall in like profit. We're at 770 yesterday. Probably just gonna run through. If it formed a swing low right there, that would be so frustrating. This is me being honest. But nah, that would be crazy. Nah, that would be crazy. That'd be the second day in a row. Swept that high. Into that volume imbalance and optimal trade entry. See if we can turn around here. Good pivot right here. I was gonna manually close right there. The 5 minute fair value gap. Could either turn around here, or we could mitigate this. So we're now running these two highs right here, coming into that 5 minute fair value gap, as well as that inversion fair value gap on the 5 minute. Keep in mind we're in that 5 minute fair value gap right here, but ultimately I think we're gonna run this low and run that low, grabbing that one as well. So we have that 5 minute inverse, 5 minute fair value gap, potential optimal trade entry as well. Got these engineered lows down here, just like yesterday. Just like yesterday. I was gonna exit manually, but I didn't have my cursor ready to go. Yeah, we also have that volume imbalance right here. Yeah, so again, we're in that 5 minute fair value gap, as well as that 5 minute inverse. So right here would be that midpoint of the 5 minute fair value gap. Since it's so close, I think it could just run up into it, fall low. It doesn't have to. We already ran this high, these equal highs, into the fair value gap could continue lower. Yeah, that's a little bit wild though. I should have exited manually. 2 days in a row. But yeah, I think this could have been another entry right here. Not for me, but for somebody else. There we go. Let's see what these executions are looking like. Could run up into that midpoint. So could pivot like right here. Anywhere from here to here. If we don't, then it'll just invalidate what we're looking at. But get rid of this, clean it up a bit. Get rid of that. I already know that inversion's there. I'm gonna get rid of it. So we've ripped through. This is the optimal trade entry. Notice the fair value gap high. We're within the optimal trade entry as well. So we don't want it coming above that fair value gap high. So pretty much we wanted to reverse like, within this range right here. So now we got this low and these two lows. So again, we got stopped out. A lot of very small losses, and ultimately caught that high of the day potentially, and it's running lower now. Could have got out manually, probably should have, but it is what it is. We're gonna come take it out now, most likely. Need that to stay open. There we go. 35 seconds. I need it to stay open. Optimal trade entry for every gap play here. Or it could just continue off of this. An inverse. Must be luck. Told you, it had to reverse where it's at, or none of this was valid. And I'm pretty confident in these equal lows here. We got that low here as well. I mean, this is really real shit. This is a lot of high up people would be very impressed with what I'm doing here. Let's just say that. So taking out these highs, just keep running higher, taking out highs into this 5 minute for everybody gap. Got that inverse over here as well. Taking out this low now. Could take that low, come up into there, and or into the inverse and draw lower. Just goes back and forth, highs, lows, imbalances. Just bounces between everything. It's not easy, but it's like simple. I don't know how to explain it. It's just sometimes you can't make it go 5 points lower. You can't do certain things that you want to do. So we got that 1 minute for right gap. Ooh, nice reaction there. So I want that candle to print strong like that. That next one really just ripping through. It's a nice reaction right there. See, those are the type of trades where when you enter, it does that. Let's see how it prints though. Let's see how it prints. But nonetheless, that will happen a lot where you take an entry and it just really fucking spikes in your direction. See how it prints though, and see how the next candle prints. It's also an optimal trade entry. Possible wick and draw lower. If not, oh yep. See, with futures, it'll come to the tick. Could just fall lower hard now. That would be a 1, 2, 3. That'd be a swing high. Could fall below the low now. like what I see here. Really giving that push to draw lower into these lows. That's what I see. Alright, yep. So it must be luck, you know. Told you it had to reverse where it was, and now our take profit is about to get hit. Want the wick lower there. Most I want to see it goes here. Yeah, what's up with like price not wanting to hit my take profit? See that shit? Talking about 0.25. Like, what's up with that? It's almost like Apex is out to get me. So again, the furthest I want to see it goes here. Um, I don't understand why it keeps doing this, but I mean, literally, like that's nothing. Look how close it was to our take profit. 1/4 of a whole point. That's crazy. If this stops me out, I'm not gonna lie, that would irritate me very much. Because for it to come 5 points and then 1 point, not even 1 point, 0.25, but could turn around here and come take us out then. Like I said, the furthest I want to see it goes right here. Come on. That's so fucking annoying. So we're in the optimal trade entry here. Yeah, I would be pretty disappointed if it stopped us out. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see if we can inverse this. So that high's got to stay intact. Man, that's some bullshit. I'm not even gonna lie. Like 0.25. I was gonna put it just below that low before too, but I lowered it a little bit. So I want to see it continue lower here. If it stops us out, that's some bullshit. I'm gonna respect that 5 minute fair value gap just in case. It won't go any further than that. If it does, then it's gonna continue higher. Right into that 79% and that fair value gap. And it's not even more so like I'm not like, getting actually mad or emotional, but it's just like for it to go 5 points. Yesterday was 1 point. Today it's 0.25. Hey, what's going on with that? If it stops us out, that's pretty irritating. Could be a swing high for him. Man. Like when price does this, it just like drags the stuff out. Like trading shouldn't be trading for too long. Your brain starts to cloud up. But like I got stuck in the stream for so long because price is just like fucking around. 5 points. Maybe wait like 20, 30 more minutes. 0.25. Now we're drawing away. Another 10, 20 minutes. We're gonna see some rather aggressive. We came up, took buy side, stayed intact with this candle. Could see a nice run lower. I want to see it rush through, sweeping that low and that low. I'm waiting for a run lower here. I really don't see why it would come stop us out. Unless it wants to take out these highs, but it's just crazy to me. 0.25. Like, come on. Could sweep this high, but also not sweep this one. That is very annoying, to say the least. I need price to respect that high. So yeah, a turn lower here and not coming back would be preferred, but could come higher. I don't want it to. I don't want to see it do that. Just gotta stay patient. So I need that high to stay intact. Man, that's such fucking bullshit. It really is. Get rid of all this. That is such bullshit. Are you serious right now? 0.25. Taking out buy side here. Could inverse this and run lower. Taking out buy side here. Man, that's frustrating. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Man, what the fuck? That's some fucking bullshit. Not gonna lie. That is some bullshit. Alright, so we're back in here. That is some bullshit, man. Checking out buy side here. I want to see this 1 minute fair value gap here act as an inverse. So potentially wick below. Yeah, that's crazy that it just 0.25 away and wiped out our entry. That's kind of wild to me, not gonna lie. Alright, so this is all I would need right here. Is 372. So after running buy side, I do want to see it run lower. But we will see what happens here, guys. That's the reality, though. It happens. It's unfortunate. Man, it's crazy. So we're forming a 1 hour swing high here. Damn, I might get stopped out. That is so irritating. Just because, oh man, that's so irritating. So swept that high. So potential market maker sell model here. That is so irritating. Put my stop above that 15-minute before I got power. Man, that is crazy. I'm taking out box side there. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Man, I had that shit in the bag, man. But I'm not gonna lie, that triggered me pretty bad. I'm gonna check something very quickly. So we're still in that 4-hour order block. Suppose that 1 hour order block. Alright, so I mean, for that to be 0.20 off my take profit, it's pretty wild. feel like I should call it a day here, but if anything pops up in the next 20 minutes or so, I'll capitalize on it. So taking out buy side there. Taking out buy side here. So this high is important. That's yesterday's high. I'm gonna go short there. Looking at this volume imbalance right here. So I do want that high to stay intact, but this getting inverse. So that low needs to get taken out here. So I need to see that drive lower, below that low. Or else we could just get stopped out. As long as that high stays intact right here with this volume imbalance. So it could just leave that wick and run lower for us. So let me cut the high again, but
Order filled.
that was random. That high needs to stay intact here. Could wick lower. Come on. Got all these lows right here that are pending. I want to see this candle kind of sweep this low. If not, it'll wick and move higher. Thank God for this coffee because this is a long one. It's just so unfortunate. Like 5 points off and then 0.25 points off. I want to see that candle continue lower, sweeping all three of these lows. Working off this volume imbalance right here. We have 11 minutes to the macro. Yeah, that's so unfortunate, guys. That's the last time I'll bring it up. Don't want to harp on the past. Right here, I do want to see a wick and a continuation lower. If not, we'll get stopped out. So if we can sweep these lows, that would be nice. If not, we'll get stopped out. If this one can run lower, that would be lovely. We'll say we're just respecting that higher time frame volume imbalance right here. As you can see, we're running that 127 extension as well. So it's a nice push lower here in the sell side. Would be preferred. So if we can get a push lower with a fair value gap in that like 2022 entry model, that would be fire. Come on. Shit's crazy. I was gonna add two micros, but looks like price is already going without me. It's all good. I'd rather see that than go higher. If it does go, I feel like once it does, it'll just kind of rip hard.
Order filled.
Set it on two micros.
Stop filled.
That is very frustrating. I'm gonna probably go ahead and step away here, guys. Let's check this out. 350.
Order filled. Stop filled.